Welcome once again. In the video, we'll focus on algebra, more especially on indices. So, what is index or what is indices? So, let's take an example. The index form, or we may say the index notation. The index form or the index notation is the simple way. Is a simple way of writing number or integer. Writing number. It's a symbol for number. So the index form or the index notation is a simple way of writing number. So if you write a very large number, for example, you just write a number like this. This number will take a large space of paper. So you have to write it in a simple way. So the simple way you're going to write this number is what we refer to as index or indices. So under index, let's look at the law. The laws of indices. This is the part of indices. Laws of index. I got the plural form of index. Let's look at the law of indices. Okay, we have first law. First law of indices. We have first law. Okay, on our first law, if we say a to the third power times a to the second power, and this will be equal to a times a times a. The a to the third power simply means you're going to multiply a by itself 3 times. It's a 3 times. Times a to the second power. That means a times a. Okay? Which will be equal to a to the fifth power. Okay? Or which will also be equal to a to the third power plus 2. Okay? Because if you know that the bases are the same, you take one, you add the index. Okay? For example, another name for index is known as power. Another name for index is known as exponent. So if you see that the index is seen as the power of this base, it's seen as the exponent. So we know that the bases are the same. This is the base. For example, let's write something like b to the n power. So the b is referred to as our base, and the n is referred to as our index, or our power, or our exponent. Okay, so now if we noted that the bases are the same and you are multiplying here, what do? We maintain one base like this. We add the exponent. So since we have a in the first law, a to the third power times a to the second power, this will simply be equal to, since we have the same base here, the same, we have a 3 plus 2, which will be equal to a to the fifth power. Is our first law. Okay, so this gives the first law of index, also known as the product law. So our first law of index is called what? The product law. The first law of index is known as the product law. Now let's come down to let's take an example, few examples. Let's take a few examples on the first law. Let's take a few examples. Now, if we just say in example number 1, 2 square times 2 cube. Okay, you know that the bases are the same. We have 2 here, we have 2 here, so we maintain one base. this will be equal to 2 square plus 3, which will be equal to 2 to the fifth power. Okay, 2 to the fifth power. And we also have here number 2, example number 2, it will give you something like 5 to the 1 power times 5 to the second power. They will also be equal to, we take one of the base, 5, 1 plus 2, which will simply be equal to 5 to the third power. Okay, so let's take number 3. If we just say, example number 3, we just say, parenthesis open, 2x to the 4 y to the minus 3, it close. Okay, another one open, 4x to the minus 2 y to the 6, and one close. So in this problem, what we need to do, we look at the indices, the power or the exponent. Okay, so this will simply be equal to this multiplication, and the bases here are now the same. We have 2, we have 4. So what we're going to do, multiply 2 times 4 give us 8. Now we got x will be x to the 1, 4 plus minus 2 y to the minus 3 plus 6. Okay, so this will simply be equal to, because this is positive and negative give us negative. Okay, so be 4 minus 2, so be 8x squared onto y minus 3 and plus 6, we're going to subtract, but since the greater number is 6, our answer will end in positive, so be 3. Okay, so if you notice that the bases here are not the same, you multiply the bases, then you deal with the index by adding the indices. Okay, so let's go to our second law. The first law. Let's go to the second law. In the second law, we have a to the fifth power all over a to the third power. This simply means a times a times a times a times a. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, multiply a by itself 5 times, and this will be a times a times a. So here, so has this a and the a can cancel, this a and the a can cancel, the a and the a can cancel. So we left with a times a. But the a has an index of 1. It also has an index of 1. So this will simply be a 1 plus 1. Okay, so this will be a square in real sense. So this is our second law. Okay, or we may simply say a to the fifth power all over a to the third power, and this may be equal to a to the fifth power divided by a to the third power. So in this case, if you are dividing, what you're going to do, you take one of the base, because the bases are the same, and you subtract the indices of the power. So this will be equal to a 5 minus 3, which will be equal to a to the second power. You can also use the method. If the method is difficult for you, you use the method. Okay, so our second law is called the quotient law. The quotient law, second law. Now let's take a few examples of the second law. Let's look at the example. It was example number 1. If we say, example number 1, 4 to the 2 to the 4 power divided by 2 to the third power. This simply means the bases are the same. We're going to take one base, we'll do our subtraction. So be 2, 4 minus 3. Okay. Now this should be 2, sorry, minus 2. So our a will be equal to 2 to the 2 power, and 2 to the 2 power is equal to what? 4. So this is our quotient law. Okay. Let's go to our third law straight. No time is in our favor. Tail law. On our tail law, for example, we say A to the third power parenthesis open or square. Okay. This square means you are multiplying everything in a parenthesis by a 2 times. A just like A square, which will be equal to A times A. Okay, we'll give you A square. Okay, so we have 3q all square be equal to 3q times 3q. And the indices are got the base, they are the same. What do we do? We take one base, we add the index, so there will be 3 plus 3 give us 6. So it'll be 8 to the 6 power. Alright. Go know that the indices are the same. Let's take one example. In example, if we just take something like 2 to the 4 power point, so open your close 5, and this will simply be equal to 2 onto 4 times 5. Okay, and this will be equal to 2 give us 20. So in here you could take a shot by saying take the base by saying 3 times 2. It give us 8 to the what? 6 power. So our tail law is also known as the power law. Tail law is known as power law. So thank you for watching the videos. For more video or for more subsequent videos, you can subscribe to our channel for more notification. Thank you once again.